Really kind of an unbelievable night in the news business. A report last night from Buzzfeed News, and let's add air quotes around the word news, accused the President of the United States of ordering his personal lawyer, former lawyer, Michael Cohen, to lie under oath to Congress. He encouraged perjury. That would be a felony. It would be an impeachable offense. All day long, you have heard people on television speculating about this, prefaced with, if true. But now, after we have spent literally 24 hours imagining the president being dragged in chains to a holding cell, Robert Mueller's office, in a move that has no precedent at all, out of nowhere, issued, in effect, a denial of the Buzzfeed story. Buzzfeed, meanwhile, has issued a statement just about 20 minutes ago, daring the special counsel, in effect, to fact-check their own story. Insanity. Chris Hahn is a radio host. He's a former aide to Chuck Schumer. He joins us tonight. So, Chris, I wonder, my primary interest as someone who's spent his life in the media is in the behavior of the media, and my jaw is open almost full-time watching it. But I wonder if any of the parade of dumb people we've watched for the last 24 hours will step forward and say, you know what, we probably shouldn't throw allegations around prefaced with the phrase, if true. Because if we don't know it's true, we probably shouldn't be alleging it. Is that fair?
That is fair, frankly. And I think that media outlets, when they get a story like this, sensational story like this, they should try to confirm it before they run with it on their own, using their own reporters and their own editorial standards. I don't know what the editorial standards are at Buzzfeed. And frankly, the special counsel, who doesn't ever talk, to choose this moment to talk suggests that that story is completely untrue. I've heard some people parsing words, saying that it's inaccurate, whatnot. But we haven't heard from Mueller. But this should also, this should also ease concerns about anybody in America who thinks that Robert Mueller is not going to be fair to the president. This shows he's a man of honor, and if he sees something that is way out of line, he's going to call it out. So, kudos to Robert Mueller for stepping in, because this really was a sensational story, and all the if-truths were. If it was true, this would have been one of the most horrible things we've heard so far and would have absolutely led to impeachment hearings at the very least. So Robert Mueller did the right thing. He stepped in. And I think the news media needs to take some ownership of the mistake that was made here, particularly Buzzfeed. And I think all the media outlets that ran with this really should in the future do their best to confirm these stories on their own. Before they go and spend 24 hours talking about it. And you would think, I was thinking around 3 o'clock this afternoon when no one else had confirmed this story that, where are we at with this? This is BuzzFeed. I don't really know their standards. I know Ben Smith. I think he's been a decent reporter most of his career. But I don't know what kind of editorial background checks they're doing on these sources. And like my friend Dan Bongino said
just to
earlier,
confirm for the record, Ben Smith is a joke, and I think anyone who knows Ben Smith will confirm that. He's a smart person, but obviously a dishonest, reckless person. He ran, and again, anyone who knows him, I think, will confirm that. But this is the same outlet that deviated from the cat slide shows long enough to run the Steele dossier, which the same news outlets absorbed as if it were real too. And Donald Trump was paying hookers to urinate on him. Do you remember all this? This is not new ground. We've plowed this ground already. Like, lunatic cat slideshow website runs unconfirmed salacious report that turns out to be false, and CNN pretends that it's real.
I think they have an obligation right now, if their sources really did burn them, and if, as Dan Bongino said, this was some sort of canary trap, they should reveal their sources. They should call those sources out, and they should say, hey, look, these guys lied to us, according to what the special counsel has said tonight, and they should make a deal about this. But I think this is the big story here tonight.
That's a totally fair point. Yeah.
The silver lining in this story, though, tonight is that this should reaffirm people on the right that Mueller is going to be fair. And I hope that is actually the message that they're taking away from this tonight. Because I think Americans, when he releases his report, when he finally releases his report, we should all understand it.
Okay. But I don't think you have to be a man of extraordinary integrity to find Buzzfeed ludicrous. I think small children find BuzzFeed is prima facie ludicrous. It's an absurd website.
Well,
and so, like, it doesn't mean that you're a man of amazing honor that you call out BuzzFeed for being as ridiculous as it so obviously is.
The president's attorney general nominee said that Mueller was a man of honor and a friend of his, but I don't think most Americans heard that. But tonight, they heard him loud and clear when he pulled back this statement. So that's twice in 1 week that,
Can I ask you one question
the right
really
should
quick?
be reassured in him.
Really quick. So Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota at the bar hearings the other day said something that almost seemed like she had read the BuzzFeed story before it ran. She said, would obstruction of justice, suborning perjury be an impeachable offense? She asked Barr that, almost like she was setting up a predicate for the story. Do you think that she had read the BuzzFeed story before it came out? I'm guessing.
No, but there's been lots of claims of obstruction of justice, the Comey firing, other things that could be disputed if it was obstruction of justice. That's been thrown around for the last year and a half.
No,
right?
you're
So
right.
I would just suggest,
it did seem.
So that's probably that.
It just did seem a little too perfect. Well, we'll find out, I hope.
I think we will, and I think we'll get that report sooner rather than later, and I think Americans should read it and take it in and understand it before they judge it.
Chris Hahn, thanks very much.
Thank you, Tucker.